Okay, we should be hopefully live. We can't see double check ourselves, but it's all looking good. So good evening. You'll notice we're wearing our red City.js tops this evening. That's because next week we are doing a talk at the JSMonthly, who run the City.js conference every year. So JSMonthly have invited us along. We're going to be doing a presentation about Angular, Cypress, Cucumber. But we thought we might share with you how we actually code a presentation. I need to just mute this over here, so I'm going to do that.
Also, in that presentation, we're also going to cover CI and CD, and hopefully we're going to see how much, we've got a 25-minute slot, we're going to see how much we can fit in that 25 minutes. So we're going to code...
Yeah, 25 minutes is going to be hard, because a lot of this will be actually based on our stream we did, 3-4 weeks ago now?
Last few streams on some
the last couple of streams. So, probably over 3 or 4 hours worth of streams, we've got to try and get that into a 25-minute presentation. So this is going to be an interesting exercise.
But the important thing is we are going to code our presentation, open source, live with you now on GitHub. And we're going to show you that you can code a presentation with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And the beauty of it being in code is if someone makes a change, you know exactly what they've changed in the slides. Other people can contribute to it and make improvements because it's open source. So let's do that together today. As you can see, we've got a slightly different setup, different background, and
we have actually got both Eddie's and my computer available to see.
The video is frozen.
Oh, the video's frozen.
I think the Wi-Fi is a bit shady around here.
Oh, how's the sound? Is there any sound coming through, or is it just the video?
I'm coming out of this. I'm not coming out of that. Let me switch to my computer.
I can still hear sound.
Oh no, I got sound. It's true.
Okay, so we may have some video issues.
Oh no, wait.
It looks like actually it's frozen up on here too.
I'm here, but we'll be on mute. Okay, thank you, Elliot.
Okay, that's interesting. It looks like it's actually frozen on the screen. So I am going to unplug the camera and plug it back in. See if that recovers us.
Elliot, thank you very much for having us in the background on. That will really help our stats, so really appreciate that. We do have some video issues now. Let's just...
Wouldn't be a stream with us if we didn't have some video issues, right?
That's true. So give us a moment, we'll fix it. I'll talk a bit about what we're going to do tonight. Hopefully we won't lose too many people.
Okay, so hopefully this video is working again, we'll see. But it had frozen on the computer, so I'm not sure what happened there.
We do apologise for that. So RevealJS is a JavaScript and HTML framework, and that's what we're going to work with today. And we're going to do the open source. We're going to show you that you can host it on GitHub pages as well. So when you go to an event to do a presentation, you don't have to go, do you have a Windows computer? Well, I have a Mac, and I don't know if the file's going to work, and so on. So it'll just be a URL on GitHub, and then therefore it works on everything, even your phone. You can even control it with your phone. I'm holding my hand, which is not good, but you can control it with your phone, switch your slides and stuff while it's changing on the big screen. You'll see
everything you can do with traditional PowerPoint or Keynote, whatever it is you might have used in the past to make presentations, you can do it all with RevealJS.
I need to reiterate that in a slightly different way. Everything you can do and more.
And more, yes.
Keynote, PowerPoint.
Very hard to share the changes. You can see all the changes. Every change is in code, right? You don't have to worry about these big binary files going version 1, version 2, version 50. Right.
So let's get going. So I'll probably go first.
I was going to say, we'll hop to your screen first. You're going to set up the initial RevealJS stuff.
Yes, let's
do it. And on my computer, it's going to be a bit more of the actual Angular code that we might use. So you'll probably be mostly on Eddie's screen this evening, which is great. Makes a change.
So we've got this setup where we can share from both our screens. It's the first time we do it. We've never
Can we explain how we're doing that?
Here you go. Jump in. Let's do it.
Effectively, Eddie has just got his HDMI output. It's not difficult. And he's plugged his HDMI output into my computer via the Elgato Cam Link, right?
And we're using the Elgato Stream Deck. I don't know if you can see this. We can program these keys and put images on it. We should take a picture of my computer and put it on the buttons. But we just put words now to keep it simple.
Cool.
Should we flick over and have a go?
Let's go for it.
Do you want to hit it? You hit it. Go ahead. Hit Eddie's screen. And then hopefully that switches over. Oh, I don't see it changing. Where's OBS?
It'll take a moment.
For you, OBS should be instant though, right?
Oh, right.
So, as always, we have some tech issues. You might want to mute.
No, it is. It's because you're showing the screen. That's what it is. It is on you.
That is so true. Right, okay, let me switch over to here. Yes, that is working. Oh my word. It's been a long, long day. See, even, as we always say, senior developers still get it wrong. No one has it right. So, we've come over to the Code Mortals.
So we're on the Code Mortals, our GitHub account. So when we take a look, Eddie's going to now add a new repository.
Open source, public.
Public repository, absolutely.
What should we call it?
JSMonthly presentation,
we should
do you
keep it more generic? It should be
Angular, Cypress?
best practices presentation. It has a presentation in the name because it's a
Hasn't actually got a
presentation.
formal title yet, but it is effectively a presentation around Angular, Cypress, and Cucumber.
So-
best practice.
Presentation at the end or at the beginning? Is it like would you namespace the naming? Open to suggestions
I normally namespace going with what it is
first.
at the start. Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
like if it's a
presentation.
date, you put the date there. Then yeah, so
And
it's a
then
presentation.
Angular, Cucumber, CI/CD. CI/CD.
How long a name do you want? Yeah, that'll do.
That's a freaking long name. Maybe without best practices. Okay, I can put it in the description, right? So
Or maybe Angular Cypress, right? Because we're using Cypress primarily rather than Cucumber. I think people will connect more with that.
True. Okay.
So-
I can put them both.
Okay, we'll take off the CI/CD. Yeah. Okay, it's all of that. There's lots going on.
Okay,
As I
lots
said,
going
25 minutes we've got to do this presentation, and
Let's see
and
how
there's
we can
already
do
about
it.
4 or 5 subjects in there.
We'll see how it goes. We might have to adjust the name and the description slightly. So I hope you're keeping an eye on chat, by the way, as well.
I will keep an eye on the chat. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So
Elliot
presentation.
says he's watching the recording because he's busy at the minute, but that's cool.
Presentation on Angular, Cypress, Cucumber, CI, and CD best practices. Written with RevealJS. Okay, cool. If you have any questions, don't forget, just jump in, ask away. Hopefully the sound and video is good. We've got some background noise. We've got a lot of people going on behind the camera, just playing board games and so forth. So I think it makes it a bit more interesting and exciting. I'm going to initialize with nothing, probably.
No, I don't think it's just a presentation, right? RevealJS will have those
should we-
things.
Yeah, okay. It will have everything with it. We will probably update their README. So create the repository. Dun, dun, dun.
Right,
So next, I'm going to clone it. So if I clone that repository, and if I switch to a new terminal, get rid of the rest. So if I just go to my downloads directory, hopefully that is legible. Can people read that terminal, or is that freaking small? So make that
I
a
think
bit
you need to
bigger.
make it bigger, yeah.
That's like 1,000,000 times bigger. So hopefully that's okay. And I'm going to create I'm going to clone the project. Actually, you know what? I'll make a directory for Code Mortal, so I can put everything in there. Oh, it exists already, see? I'm already organized. So if I go into Code Mortals, list, we just have the website, which you've seen us work on before, or more Andrew work on before. I do have it on my computer. And then we will do a git clone of that repo with our presentation with a freaking long name.
Doesn't really matter, just copy and paste, right?
What's copy and paste?
The length of that name might be huge, but you have a nice large directory now as well.
True, so if I list that again, we've cloned the project, but there'll be nothing in there. So if I go into the folder, it says I'm in master. As you can see, my terminal is on steroids. I do have some cool stuff in my terminal. ZSH gives you kind of some coloring and tells you what branch you're in. Andrew's a bit old school and likes to play an old terminal. Boring.
I know what's going on.
I have
It's
no
all in
clue.
my head.
So let's see. Cloned it. Let's go find the RevealJS. RevealJS.
Follow their advice, right? Their README will tell us exactly what we need to do to get an initial project up and running.
Will it? I was going to do it a
hope
bit
so.
different. I was going to make my own way of doing it. But no, you're right. Let's do it their way. So let's see what they say. Is that legible? Can you see that on the screen? Is that quite
Yeah,
small?
bump yourself up a little.
Bump it a bit bigger. Okay, so installation. So let's just scroll all the way down. But online editor now, which is quite new. Basic installation. Download the latest version of RevealJS and unzip it. So I could just download it and then just download it and just move the files in.
Yeah, there's a full setup that's already prepared for you, so you could clone that and use that.
Could clone it. I could add it as an upstream, which is probably too complicated for now, right? I will just download it. Let's keep it simple. Download the latest version. This is what most people will do, I think. So if I download the zip or the tar, doesn't matter. Download it, and then
We need to extract that.
so yeah, if I go back to the downloads directory, one more, and then I got loads of rubbish in here. I can order it by.
We can have a look and see what Eddie's been downloading recently. I'm sure there's a few dodgy
stuff.
things in there.
Where is it? I don't know.
Oh no, that's not it.
I thought I did it in order, maybe in the reverse order. Let me go downloads. And then, oh, it isn't. It's already unzipped.
itself,
okay,
yeah,
so
so
Mac's been clever.
You go straight into the folder.
So I'm just going to copy everything
So I
inside
normally
out.
turn that setting off just in case. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's true. I only download good stuff, not dodgy stuff. Like I don't know what you're downloading. So I was going to copy recursively everything out of RevealJS. Reveal.
Yeah, and
Or I've got multiple versions.
.js,
JS.
3.8, yeah.
Copy everything out of this in there to Code Mortals, and then presentation. How does that look?
It's okay.
See if that works. Seems to have worked. So let's go into Code Mortals, presentation. Let's list what we have in there. We've got some files that I think looks promising. It seems recursively gone through there.
How about you do an install for the dependency, see what happens.
npm install, fingers crossed. Let me just.
How many vulnerabilities is it going to find?
3.8 is the latest version, so hopefully it's okay. What does everyone else think? Has anyone else in the chat used RevealJS before? Let me see. Chat's a bit quiet.
It doesn't really matter though if there are vulnerabilities in there because we're only hosting a static website at the end of the day. There's no server involved.
That's true. I'm just checking the audio on the stream. It seems alright. Your sound's
Audio's
really good.
I'm keeping a close eye on OBS at the moment, just making sure that it all looks good.
Cool. So we're just downloading dependencies with npm install. If you do have any questions, do just jump in and ask. What do you think of our setup as well? Being able to use both cameras, both laptops.
Moved around, we've got WeWork office upstairs where
Yeah, I quite like it up here.
this is effectively reception, so we may have some people come over from the
Ask
building
questions.
asking us, like, I don't know,
Where's the
where's the
toilets?
exit?
Yeah, there's a fire, where's the exit? We're like, what? Wait a second, let me commit and push first.
Absolutely, don't want to lose your work.
So,
Okay, so the install's done.
I want to open it up in VS Code, Andrew's
I was going to say, how
favourite.
about running it and seeing what you actually get out by default?
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, let me minimize that for a second.
It's good to know what you actually get.
So I'm going to open Finder with that, and then I'm going to just find the index.html. And I'm
Wow,
gonna
that's
open
crazy.
it.
Yeah, it is Novus. I totally agree with Novus here, who has just said you also allow zips to be unzipped as you download them. I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of default Mac settings. I've just left it, but you're right. That's quite bad.
first thing I changed is pretty much is to turn that off.
Yeah, but
It is. I think it's a bit of a risky setting that
it
Apple
is.
has done with that.
That is a bit risky. I should probably start this properly, actually. So if I just open their README, they do say to start a web server for the project, so it automatically updates. So if we scroll down, that's really small. Let me make that a bit bigger. Go away, and let's just. How's that size? Go away. So basic setup, full setup, and we want npm. Oh, npm. It's just npm start. Okay, that's simple enough.
As it should be.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was something a bit different. npm
Probably
start.
your special version that you have for yourself.
Yes. So slide
there you
1
go.
and slide 2. We have
And he's
written.
just using the arrow keys there to navigate through them.
Oh yes, we need a top-down camera.
You need a camera to see what you're actually doing.
I
Yeah.
brought a spare one with me.
No cheating. That's-
Yep, so slide 1 and slide 2. I don't know if you can actually see the animation on the video, but it's sliding across. We'll do some other animations. You can make it be a curve and be a cube. So
I'm going to recommend we do two things. First thing, get this pushed up so we've got the initial project.
Yes, good call.
And next thing is probably if we update the title to be what our presentation title would be, and then get it deploying onto GitHub pages.
Oh, good call. I like it.
So get that CD up and running ASAP.
Let's do that. So do I have a git ignore? I don't want node modules to go up. Or do I?
No.
Usually no, but because it's just no, it would be fine. I don't need them, do I?
No, you shouldn't.
But it's not going to run a build though, is it?
How do you normally do it? Because
I don't
I was
know.
expecting.
I'm trying to think. I think it compiles as a compiled version. I can't remember now. I should have really
Well,
checked.
there's one of two
Right.
options. We could do a build.
Let me check.
I can have a quick look if you like.
I know it's really simple, so there's obviously something that I'm missing. There is-
I'll check out another project if you want to.
Yeah, you can look in mine. I have got quite a few different projects doing this. I think it's just dev dependencies. I don't think. Oh no, there aren't any actual production dependencies, so it's fine.
Yeah, there won't be any
only
for production, but to do the build,
No, I think it's fine. Let's
it all
just
comes
try
straight
it.
out, does it?
I think so. So git commit. I'm going to commit to GitHub. I'm going to say initial. We're doing our normal style, right? Feature. What's the module? I guess.
Or it could
it's-
just be a chore, the initial setup.
Okay, sure. But what's the kind of the package area that it's in?
RevealJS, I guess.
Yeah, RevealJS. And I haven't got a ticket for it. Has anyone create a ticket on GitHub? Let's have a look. No. So if I create an issue on GitHub, hopefully this is not too small. I should make it a bit bigger. There we go. Create initial RevealJS presentation. Kind of hello world. And then we'll push it up. Assign it to myself. If anyone has any ideas, create a ticket, create an issue. Don't forget, we'll give you that open source green box for you for the day. So it's always good to create it. And even if it doesn't get done, it gets closed. That's the worst case. So don't be shy. Do create it. So we've got ticket number 1. So if I go issue number 1 and say added RevealJS, boom.
Does look like everything runs purely in the browser. There is no build. So why is there even a node modules folder?
I think it's for development for the web server, for it to reload and all the rest.
Oh, okay. It's purely to run it locally.
I need to do a git add. I forgot to add the files, but I need to ignore the git modules. So let me just create a git ignore file to ignore git ignore, and then we're going to ignore the node modules. See, I can code. For those people who doubted me, because I'm the one that's always doing the talking and Andrew's always doing the coding, I can code.
This is Eddie's speciality. That's why we've got him on the camera.
Because I do what coding or talking?
Presentations.
Yeah, because I talk a lot. I do code my presentations, so that's a big plus. So if I do Git...
Funny, years ago I used to be the one doing presentations all the time. The coin has flipped.
It has. I added all of those files, but node modules should not be added. Perfect. So now if I do a commit again, let's push it up. Git push master origin master. Any questions, you just jump in and ask. And I'm just going to type in my password for my SSH key. Pushing it up now, and then we'll set deployment on the repo up. Are you checking the chat, by the way?
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye. We're all good.
Awesome. Okay, so now I've pushed it up. I pushed to master. I didn't create a PR, but it is the first
That's okay.
one.
I think to get things started. There's nothing overly important in there yet. Worst case, we could always burn the repository and start over.
Yeah, all the branches, just create a new branch and so forth. I'm going to scroll down to here, and I've gone to settings. I'm going to scroll down. I want GitHub pages. I want it on. I just want to use the master branch, and I think that's changed. So do we have a URL? It should create a URL.
Gives you a URL,
yeah,
right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if I open this in a new
In fact,
tab,
copy that URL. Don't lose it, because we want to drop that into GitHub as well, so that we can click on it.
That's true. Let me add that to GitHub now. If I scroll to the top of GitHub, go to the beginning of this repo, and let me add it into the website, like kind of form field. Therefore, if people want to see it. It does need a first time, especially it needs a few minutes to reload, to load it. So I've got 404 at the moment, but it will load.
Yeah, it will come up shortly.
So let's have a look. So give that a second. So
I'll go raise you some issues while you're doing that. I'm sure we can get some
issues.
things. So we need to update the title. We've done the deployment already. I mean, that happened nice and quickly there.
Yeah, we're using GitHub Pages, so that's really, really nice. It allows us to host static pages really simply without adding an actual CI. So we're kind of getting the benefit of CD without adding CI. So that's cool. What else do we need to do? So the README is all RevealJS README. We can update that shortly. Let me just check the site again. That's still not working. Why is it not working? We'll give it a few minutes. It should eventually work. I don't think I ever do anything like super special. And how's the chat going? Chat's really quiet. So what's everyone been up to? What's everyone else working on at the moment? And do you give presentations, and do you code them, or do you use PowerPoint?
Have you ever used RevealJS? What do you like about it?
That's true.
Right, should we get the first slide up? What's the introduction?
Okay, let me go. So first slide, it should be probably, let's have a look. Let me remove outline on my VS Code, just minimize that. And what else have we got? So we're in the index.html, and that's where the slides go. And we'll change the title, I think. So the title at the moment is RevealJS, so we'll rename that to Code Mortals. One word or 2 words? 2 words. Code Mortals.
It's an interesting question. Everywhere we've signed up for social names, we haven't put the space in
so
there.
I think it should be 1.
But yeah,
in our logo,
and the logo,
it's 2.
it's 1, but they've got different bolds.
Do you want to start showing the logo actually? Would people like to see what the Code Mortals logo is looking like now?
Yeah, we have been working on 99 designs for it. So
let me know when you want me to switch to your Andrew's computer.
So if I bring up 99 Designs.
I'm considered camera 2. Yeah. Okay. So that's my computer.
It's actually got. Oh, right, it doesn't put your name in.
Okay. So I switch to yours or not yet? Let me
yeah,
know
you
when.
should be
Or I can switch
okay.
to our camera, right? Is this ours? Is this us? That should be us, right?
That's the cameras. Yeah.
So now we're all big again. The lighting isn't super great in here, but hopefully it's good enough. And
I've just noticed we're getting that funky.
that flicker again. Ooh, is everyone else seeing that kind of bit of flicker? I think Andrew needs a new laptop. He can't
my
handle
adapter,
it.
maybe.
I don't know.
It's getting
Maybe-
old, that adapter. It's been used a lot.
But it's an official Apple one, right? It's not like a dodgy.
Yeah.
It's not a dodgy one.
Apple
Oh,
can
yeah,
send me a
so-
new one, right?
We're working on a community. Novaz, hopefully I pronounced that right, says working on a community platform for digital space, shipping really soon, or shipping really soon. Awesome. So is it? My first question I always ask is it open source? Can we see it? Can we look at the project? I'm guessing it's closed source. I'm really hoping it's open source. You'll see a grown man cry if it's closed source. But we've lost the video feed now already. Let me see if there's still audio.
Oh, on my
Stick
side it's good.
headphones on.
My side it's fixed itself. So,
Okay, video's back. There is a green flicker. Oh, I'm seeing the green flicker a bit, Andrew.
well, just have to keep ours small. We don't need to see ours in full screen too much today.
Sorry about the green flicker. I'm
pretty sure it's.
thought that my graphics card was broken. No, it's something in our mix. We'll have a look and see. Let me switch to Andrew's computer for the moment, and then you can have a look at the logo. You've seen the mascot? I mean, it's in the video at the bottom right, but hopefully you can see the logo and see what you think.
And if I go to one of the other ones, so this is on 99 Designs, and the designer has shared with us down here a little bit more detail behind the logo.
It's open source. Yes, we'll talk about that in a second. Sorry, carry on, Andrew.
That's fine. Yeah, no. So the logo effectively is two HTML. Well, it's an HTML tag. It's kind of an opening tag, a slash, and a closing tag. But it also forms an interesting little C in the middle there. And then you can hopefully make out the M going around the outside. But yeah, I mean, we had lots of different designs come in. But after lots and lots of kind of breaking it down, we wanted something that was going to look good at all different sizes. So when this is nice and small, you can still make it out. When it's big, it works. So the geometry's there is quite nice. And the code mortals, slightly lighter, and then mortals in a strong, bold face, because that's what we're really trying to tell everyone is that it's all done by humans, right? That's the whole point in code mortals. We're not rock stars, we're not ninjas.
We're just mere mortals.
Unless you're Eddie, he calls himself a 10x developer these days.
No, I'm a divide by 10 developer. You might want one, but you get a tenth of a developer.
Yeah, there's the big thing going on. It's funny, 10x was what, 5-6 years ago people were talking about it, and
It's
all of a
come
sudden it's
round
blowing up
again.
on social recently.
Yeah, there's no such thing as 10x developer. That is BS. Everyone adds value to the team, and that's the most important part. It doesn't matter kind of what area they're in, they all add value, right?
So yeah, we've got our Facebook banners coming too. So along with the logo, there are the banners, which this is basically the banner we're going for, right? We are changing some of the titles a little bit. We've asked for a few text changes. They'll come through hopefully fairly soon. But yeah, we'll hopefully have that all approved and done in the next couple of days, and you'll see that all go live. But there's the sneak preview to everyone that's on the stream.
Yeah, behind the scenes, on the scenes, kind of live, yeah.
But yeah, definitely recommend 99 Designs if you're starting out. It's not too expensive, but certainly cheaper than hiring someone full time to do this stuff.
And you get loads of other different
You
designs.
get some really good
You
designs.
get
I can quickly
some-
show what else we've had. So obviously I'm looking here because the contest part's over, but you go through a whole contest first. So if we look down here, there was 256 that we rejected, and these were the sort of the final 9. So if I can pop a link to this up on the chat, right?
Yeah, do share a link. Let
Yeah,
people
let
see
me share a
what
link to
ideas we
the
had.
chat.
It'd be really interesting to know what people thought. Not yet, but I'll reach out to you and give you a beta key. I thought it's open source. I was really happy, Novaz, for a second. You said open source.
Loads that we declined. Anyway,
I'm going to see a grown man cry now.
right. That's probably enough from me for the minute. Let's go back to some RevealJS.
Okay, so what have we got? So RevealJS, we've got these 2 slides. And let's just set a structure. So we've changed the name to Code Mortals. So if I refresh the page, it now changes the title at the top right to Code
Our
Mortals.
GitHub's working now, is it?
Is it working?
I don't know.
I'm
Was
too
it? I
scared-
thought you were suggesting it
I'm
works.
too scared to try.
gonna
It
have
is
a
not
look.
working. Can you check? I've busted something.
I'm going to have a look.
Andrew will check that and let you know why I've busted it. Unless GitHub's extra slow today. So if I go back to some slides, so the way it works is you just get these You have your body, as you would normally in HTML, but then you have reveal, this div with the class reveal, and then you have a div with slides, and then each section is a slide. So we've got 1, 2, and 3, and you can even nest your slides so that you don't just go horizontally along. You can go down, so each section can kind of get a vertical, and then when you get to the last slide at the bottom of that vertical, it then moves across to the next horizontal slide. So let's do that. I'll show you what I mean. So if I just hit enter in there, and if I create another section. And in here we'll say, just say Code Mortals, for example, Code Mortals, and we'll put some social links in there later on. But let me just duplicate that. So now we can say, I don't know, Code Mortals, and then you can say, who are we or something, question mark. And then we'll go enter, and then we'll do a bit on Angular. Oh, I need to nest the section again, so we can go. So the way it will work is Code Mortals will be up here will be the first slide of, like if you think in a grid, it'd be 1, 1, and then who are we will kind of be the first column still, but going down 1, and then down here, if I nest another section, then it will be the second column, but the first cell. You'll see. Let me show you. It'll make sense in a second because I can zoom out and show you like a grid view. Bear with me. Give me 30 seconds. So what else do we have? So who are we? So we're going to start off with Angular. So that can be the Angular section, and then we can also do what else? Angular, and then under Angular will be maybe the CLI, for example. We'll change these. So let me save that. Let me go to my browser. And if I hit escape, it zooms out. So you can see I've got my grid. It's quite small. Let me see if I can make it a bit bigger. I can't. But you've got Code Mortals, and then who are we, and then Angular, and then CLI. So at the bottom right, you can see I've got the arrows. When I go down, it goes who are we, and then when I go across, it goes to the top of the next section, which is Angular, and then I can go down again, which is the CLI. So that's how it works. As Andrew's trying to fix my problem on deployment, I'm just going to check the chat. The service is SaaS, but the code is open source. You can take it and host it locally if you want. Cool. Can you share a link to the open source project? We'd love to sneak in a quick look, right?
So it is there. You've got to go to index.html. How do you set the default to index?
I thought the default
was index, or do we have to put a file in there to tell GitHub pages?
No, it usually is.
I thought it not usually does. Unless it's reading from the package JSON.
I don't think it's that smart to read from package JSON.
I don't think it does.
I must be just missing something. No, Vaz, share a link to the GitHub repo, the open source GitHub repo in the chat. It will block it, but I'll override it and allow it. I'm more than happy for people to share their open source projects, and we can then take a look at it, give you maybe some open source thoughts on it. That would be awesome. Don't forget, if you're watching, to subscribe, help us reach 100 subscribers so that we can get a custom URL, which will be like youtube.com/codemortals rather than this huge link at the moment. And share the stream with your friends, give us a thumbs up, the usual stuff, that would be great. Right, let me get back to coding. With our little picture in the corner, you still get us flickering. So
I know, I've seen that.
That's just... Andrew broke it. Let's just face it.
I could try swapping the cameras over and make a mess of everything.
No, don't leave it. I was just saying it before I forgot.
Yeah, no, we need to figure out what's happening there because the laptop's not hot right now. It's got to be something about some of the hardware somewhere.
He needs a new laptop. It's only 6 months old.
Eddie needs a new camera.
Yeah, I bought a new camera like literally a week ago. This is one of them. Let's do the next section. We've got Angular, and then we're going to have the next section, which will be, say, Cypress. And then, actually, we probably should do CI/CD next, I would have thought. Right, CI. And then the second part of CI might be, I don't know, Circle CI as an example. And then we need another section, which is, after CI will be the CD part, which will be hosted on, I don't know, say Firebase. And then the section after that will be, these are just placeholders, we can change them. The section after that will be Cypress, I think, but we might change it.
So yeah. So
Cypress
you're talking
and Cucumber.
bit on Angular, was it?
Let me show you. Let me
Let's
put
have
it
a
in the
look.
browser and have a look. So if I refresh the, it's already reloaded already because it's running on a web server. So to begin with, you have Code Mortals, what we are, who we do. We press down, who we are. Again, we're probably going to change this. It's
That's
just
going to be quite short because we haven't got very much time.
I spent
So
20 minutes.
this is Eddie,
talking.
I'm Andrew, done.
Let's do it. Subscribe to our channel. Then you move across and it goes to the Angular section. And then you press down, down, down and go through all the Angular sections. And then when you go right, it goes to the next section, which I've just put a CI here. And then you can go down, down, down through those sections. And then when you go to the subsections, and when you go to the next section, it will be CD, going down through all the subsections. And then you press right and you go to the next kind of category or section. I'm using the word section a lot. And then it's Cypress.
Should
go down to
it be
Cucumber.
called, we calling the section Cypress or the section testing? Because Cypress and Cucumber are testing sort of tools. We can always think about it.
We can tweak it. So what else do we want to cover? So, I mean, you've seen some of this on our streams, but now we want to try and squeeze it into a 25-minute video. So if I just switch back to the camera, and I can just check out the chat for a second. So it's going. I'll share when we ship.
Taking
Okay,
a break,
fair
wow,
enough.
really cool.
So
What's really cool what we're doing, or what he's doing, must be what Novas is doing, right?
Taking a break, well, really cool.
What we're doing is not that cool, but what Novas is doing sounds cool.
I think what we're doing is pretty cool, right? No? Which part's cool? Do you like the setup? Do you like the sound? Elliot, thank you so much always for your support. I hope your project's going well. How did your presentation go? A couple of weeks ago, I think it was, we were streaming and you were preparing for a presentation, so hopefully that's going okay.
Interesting using this at your meetup, cool.
Interesting in using this. Yeah, do it. Writing your slides in code is awesome. Let me switch back to I did update.
Well, also, because this is all hosted on GitHub, if someone else decides they want to do our presentation, they're more than welcome to. I mean, I've got no problem if someone wants to present what we're doing. It's all open source. It's all on a website, or it will be properly on the website soon. I'm not sure why GitHub pages want you to go to the index page.
Yeah, it will be hosted on the website soon. It'll be on GitHub, and people can make improvements, right? If you see any bugs or defects in it, you can fix it. And we're actually going to put code within the presentation, and we're going to put code blocks around it, so it'll be highlighted. And so it'll be highlighted, and then if anyone sees any improvements to that code, they can also make the improvements to the code, so it won't be images, because then when someone makes a change to an image, you change the whole image rather than just changing that line of code. So images, binaries suck, especially in Git. So the other thing I was going to suggest is we should probably customize this template, maybe put a logo.
The logo would be cool, or
the mascot.
Oh, we've got the logo as well. I mean, I can...
Let's do the mascot. I like the mascot idea. It's more funny.
Okay.
So where can I get that? We can just stick that in an issue. Could you create an issue, stick it in an issue, and I'll just grab the URL for it?
Either that or you could pull them off the website if you want. They're all available on the website.
Are they? All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay, let's do that.
Every single one is available on our website.
So what's the website name?
Codemortals.io, of course.
Cool. Here is our website. You haven't seen it.
And the URL for the mascots, if you want that directly, is /assets.
/assets, /mascot,
/mascot, and then / whatever the number is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
let's do that.
10, I believe. So if anyone wants to check out all the mascot designs, there are 10 of them right now.
Let's go back to this. So, your tablet, any chance you could put it there so I could just see anything that comes up in the chat? If that's possible, without breaking anything?
Try not to break anything.
That's okay, just so I can keep an eye on that. If there's any questions, I don't want to miss it. Elliot says it went well. I failed to screen share but recorded my voice. Yeah, there's always technical issues. I mean, this is probably our 12th stream in total, and we still get those are technical issues. So.
But there's more tech and changed every time. I mean, this time we're trying to have both laptops available to us, something we haven't done before. It is sort of working, that part. And the camera, which was one of the first things we got working, is now not working quite right. But the mics are better. Hopefully the sound's better. We noticed from the stream we did on Monday, some of the sound levels were a bit low, and
people weren't
all
always
varied
talking
depending on
into
how
the
close
mic.
we were to the mic. So,
and people were doing this, like going, "Yeah, let's talk into the mic." It's like, no, you need to talk into the mic.
So we've tried to put them as close to us as we can today.
Yes, and I'm crouching down a bit, so I'll have a bad back at the end, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. We'll have good audio, right? So I'm just going to create a little div, and I want to put the image into that at the moment. So if we say, this is where my CSS is really going to fail. Let me get Andrew to do this. His CSS is much better. I'll get Andrew to do that, and he can send me a PR, and we can review it. So Andrew, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to add the mascot in. I'm quite keen for you to do it. Actually, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it badly, and Andrew can improve it.
Someone reckons it could be the doc type, according to as I look around trying to figure out why our repository is not hosting up properly.
Yeah, but I've used this.
Could be the doc type.
I've used this so many times. Unless they've changed the doc type in RevealJS, I don't know. Let's have a look. Mascot, and then I'm going to in here put the image, and we'll put a source, and we're going to say the source is from the website. Self-closing tag, we should put an alt tag, so alt tag, we can have code mortals, one word is what we're using, mascot. So if I do that, it's going to probably appear wham bam in the page, or not at all, but we're just going to want it in the corner, so we will do, let me add a file so we can add our own custom CSS. So what we want is, we'll add another one down here, and we'll change this to CSS directory, not in the theme, we'll just call it code mortals.css, and then in the CSS folder we'll just add a new file. Or we've got some people hoovering around the corner, hopefully that's not too loud. So we'll say code mortals.css, and let's just see. So what did we call the div? I forget now. The div had a class mascot.
What are we doing here? You need a hand?
Yes, I will do in a second. I'm just going to see if I can get this working. So if I just say, so I've just created a div, class mascot, and I've put the image in there because we might want to put some text in there, and we want it at the bottom left-hand corner. So I've added in the style sheet right at the top here, and then we're going to say it was a class, so we'll go div.mascot, and then we'll say, why is it underlining it? Oh, it's empty. That's why. I'll put something in it, and then we'll say position, absolute.
You can absolute to the bottom, I guess, since there's not much else going on.
Absolute bottom, and then we'll say, I guess, 0 for the moment.
Yeah, just tuck it right in the corner.
And then left 0 as well. Let's just see how that looks. It's probably going to be huge as well. We might want to.
We probably want to make it a bit smaller, but go for that.
Let's just see how it looks. Aha! Now you see it at the bottom left-hand corner. That actually looks pretty good where it is, and the size is actually pretty good too.
Not too bad. I know we resized them all for the website, so.
I think that's perfect. What do you think? Does it look good? Elliot says, it went well, I failed to screen share, recorded my voice. Oh, I read that already. It's been a long day. So, don't forget, share this link, the live stream with your friends, get them to subscribe. We're trying to reach 100 subscribers. By next week, we want to get a unique YouTube URL. Thank you everyone for your support, really appreciate it. And let us know what else you want to see on the stream. Let us know what else we could do. Seeing 2 screens is quite useful. We've got one camera, one angle today. Would you prefer another angle? We could do another angle, maybe. So let's have a look. So probably want code mortals written next to it. We've got a font, right? If I go to the website, we do, where's the website? I've lost it now. I think I closed it. Code Mortals. We've got a font. I'll let Andrew do that.
What would you like?
Just to put that I guess Code Mortals next to our mascot, I think would be good. What do you think?
Okay, well if you committed up the stuff, and I can do that separately.
Let me commit it up and let's do it. You're right, I keep forgetting to commit as we go along. So, let me create an issue on GitHub. So where's GitHub? GitHub is over here. Create an issue.
Yeah, you tried to put us on full camera, have you, so everyone gets the blinking.
Oh, you've put it on full camera, have you?
I haven't.
Oh, did I forget to switch back?
I think you've left it on there for a while. There we go.
So no one's seen me been coding?
Yeah, Eddie can't really code, that's why. He's had me doing it all.
Having reviewed the repo, make sure you have gone to settings, enabled the URL for it to build. Having reviewed the repo, make sure... Okay, yeah, we'll have a look. Novaz, thanks. We did have a look. We think it's okay. It should be pretty default, but we should check it again. I'm really sorry that I was coding without... I was on the big cam and I forgot to switch it back. So let me go back to the code and show you what I did. So what I did... None of you were paying attention. That was a test to see if any of you were paying attention. You weren't paying attention because I wasn't showing the code. So what I'll show you I did, I went to the Code Mortals website, and what I did is I grabbed the link to the mascot number 5, the one that's kind of waving, saying hello, and then I've created a div with class mascot that wouldn't do anything initially. I'll show you the style sheet that I added. Then I just put an image in with an alt tag, Code Mortals mascot. And then at the top of the index.html file, where you have the style sheets included, I added a CSS, codemortals.css. So the CSS folder already existed. And then I created the codemortals.css, and I just said for div with class mascot, position absolute, go right to the bottom and go right to the left. So once I did that, and you can see it turned out like this with the mascot at the bottom left. I haven't resized it or anything. That's what we get straight from the website, and I think that looks quite good. Let me know what you think. But I'm going to push that up so Andrew can then put the Code Mortals font next to it, written in code in the right font, so that when we go to other slides and the Code Mortals on the first slide disappears, you then still have Code Mortals kind of written if people turn up late and all the rest. So
Cool.
let me push that up. I'm going to create an issue.
And for those that are looking at the repository, whilst the GitHub pages is misbehaving for the index.html, I've just updated the URL to include index.html at the moment. So if you click on the link on the repo, it will go to the right place now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But yeah, the default of using index.html, if you haven't specified one, does seem to be not working right now. So we'll have to look into that later as to what's going on, and we'll let people know when we figure it out.
Yeah. So number 2, so let me do a commit. So if I do a git commit and I say it's a feature, and I should say, I don't know, mascot. And it's not issue number 2, added mascot to the presentation. And then if I commit that, I was really stupid because I didn't add the CSS. If you notice, they got question marks above it. So that's really, really stupid. So I've literally just committed one file, which is index.html, but it hasn't got the other relevant files with it. So what I want to do is I want to undo that commit. But be really careful when you do this. If you're in a shared branch, do not rewrite history, because you really will upset people in the team and it cause all sorts of conflicts and problems. But I haven't pushed this up, so I can rewrite the last commit. I can undo it and rewrite history. But also another reason to be careful when using this command is because if your commit wasn't the last one, you will undo someone else's commit. So, hey Craig, thanks for joining. Thanks for welcome. And Barry as well. You've written something. What are you up to, Barry? Something? I'm guessing.
Doing something, I'm sure.
I missed the first part. What's the goal of this session? Great question. I'll let Andrew fill you in.
I can fill that in.
While I'm
So
just fix my commit.
next week we are doing a talk at, well, not CityJS, but the guys that run CityJS, called JSMonthly, and that's over in London for those that aren't in the UK. So because we're doing a talk next week, we thought it'd be good to share setting up our presentation using RevealJS. Obviously, because we're talking, it's taking a little longer than it usually would to do something like this, but that's the way these streams go in that respect. But we thought it'd be good to share anyway. So we're using RevealJS. RevealJS is a way of coding your presentation. And we have got the initial pages up. So if you go to the repository, I will share the URL again in the chat quickly now. So anyone who would like to find the repository, it is all open source. So copy that.
And I will just give you a quick demo of what I've got for those who've joined. So using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I have got, this is our presentation. It just says Code Mortals in the middle, and it's got our mascot at the left. But if I scroll down, you've got the next slide in that section. If I press right, it goes to the next section, and if you can see the blue arrows have lit up to go right and down.
Tells you which ways are available.
So you can go down, but I can't go down any further because we haven't put any more into the Angular section. If I can go right to the CI section, go down to the next part, go right to the CD section. We're hoping we can get this presentation all done for real when we present it in 25 minutes.
Craig's keen to know, have we named our mascot yet? Unfortunately, we really need to get a name, but every time we talk about names with anybody, there's so many ideas, but none of them just they're not quite sticking yet. We meant to go with one of Craig's, right? Little bit,
I think it was. I think that's the winning one at the moment, right? That's the best contender, I suppose.
So it's like with the name Code Mortals. We spent
months.
Yeah, probably 2 months settling on names. You should have seen the spreadsheets, the whiteboard sessions we had. I tell you, I can see why people like Google spend millions, literally millions, coming up with names for things. Because it really takes a while, especially when we were being quite particular, because we wanted all the social names available,
yes,
we wanted the websites available, because we kept finding cool names and going, oh no, the website's taken, or oh no, the social's taken.
But I guess the good thing about with the name of the mascot is you don't have to get the social stuff for it.
So it should be easier, but we need to actually get onto that. There's so many other things we're trying to do at the moment, but naming, absolutely, Craig. More ideas for names from anybody. Share them on the main Code Mortals repo. We have an issue on there.
Yes, Craig has shared them, so we really, really appreciated those.
Foxbite a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
They are both good.
They're the good contenders at the moment. They're
We are
definitely
struggling
good
to find
contenders at
better
the
ones, so
moment.
maybe we will have to just flip a coin and go for one of those.
We've just jumped up to 47 subscribers, so thank you all very much for subscribing. We're trying to get to 100 so we can get our unique URL, which is like youtube.com/codemortals, but you need 100 subscribers to get to that, so really appreciate that. Any questions of what you see, write in the chat. Anything you'd like to see, also write in the chat, and we'll try and make a mental note, or just raise an issue on the website on GitHub. Don't forget, by raising issues on the presentation repo or the website repo, you'll get that green open source green tile on your profile for that day. So yeah, do raise that. So let me switch back to my screen or your screen. What are you up to?
Right now I'm just popping an issue in because you want me to look at the fonts, you want me to
Yes, let's
update
switch
the
to
footer,
your screen. Andrew.
so I'm just putting a little bit in. That's hopefully my screen sharing correctly.
So that we haven't tried sharing from Andrew's screen yet, I don't think. So let's have a look.
And the
Let's see if
font
his
we're
screen.
using on the Codemortals website, I'm going to cheat by just going into here. We're using one from Google Fonts at the moment, and it was, I can't remember the name of it. Here we go. We're using Lato, yes.
Craig, I hope everything's going okay as best as it can, and if you need any help to get back into the loop, let us know. Thanks for joining our live stream, and if you need to jump off, we completely understand. We appreciate you being here. So Andrew's just raising an issue on GitHub. If you want to get your green tile for today for your open source contribution, don't forget an open source contribution is not just about code. So raise an issue, raise an idea, raise something you'd like to see in our presentation, then raise it on the presentation repo. Let me share some links to these things. And
Cool, so I put that in. You've pushed the code up, right?
yes,
So I can clone that repository now.
that is now working on GitHub without the index to HTML. It just took time.
Took some time.
So
Or a second push, maybe.
maybe
give it that kick in the
It
wheels.
probably was that second push. Actually thinking about it, Let me get the repo links as well.
Right, I'm going to make my terminal a bit bigger as I clone this. So CD, to my source repository.
So if anyone wants the repo link, here you go. This is where the repo is. Feel free to raise pull requests, issues, questions. We should be doing PRs soon once we get the base up.
Yeah, we'll get the basics in first and we'll get some PRs. In fact, I might do it as a PR for the next one.
Barry says, not complaining, but this is Reveal, not React. This is RevealJS, not
Yes.
React. We not really React devs, we're more Angular devs, but in this situation, because it's just a presentation, we're going to use RevealJS to structure the presentation. I actually should...
Mostly you'll see HTML and CSS. You can put JavaScript in there, obviously.
And you can put Markdown in there, so we could do it in Markdown. What would people like to see? I think HTML is fine, you can probably do a little bit more, but you can do everything you want with Markdown too. You can do speaker notes as well, so it's hidden from the main presentation, and you can get a second tab to see your speaker notes. We can make the whole cube slide over as well, so we'll add some customization as well, and I can show you how to do that too. Cool, so what's else Andrew up to?
So I'm burning as much CPU as I can whilst opening WebStorm and
Right,
I could use
okay.
VS Code, I suppose.
While you're doing that, should I switch back and show people while you can clone the project?
Yeah,
and
I'm
go
getting the
install?
project out. I'm just doing
So let me
clones,
switch back to
NPM
mine,
installs.
and let me show what people can do with RevealJS configuration. So down here at the bottom, you have RevealJS reveal.initialize, and you've got its dependencies. But in that block, you can also add other customizations in terms of, do you want the screen to
Craig's going to head off for a minute, so...
thanks, guys. I'm going to head back to work. Break's over. Thanks for popping in, Craig. Really appreciate it. And if you need anything, let us know. You're one of our #1 supporters from the beginning, so yeah, really appreciate that. And looking forward to when you start live streaming again soon too. And we'll definitely come and support you as well. So let us know when that's going on.
RevealJS is like PowerPoint on acid, so...
On acid, I was going to say on steroids.
I was going to say, it's just different, right? In PowerPoint, it's all done through a graphical interface, which is perhaps good for the more business type people where they like to version everything, send it by email, say review this, send it back to me with a new version number, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's awful.
But for us developers, those that prefer to code things and have versions of things that we can actually understand, RevealJS allows you to put it all into code, and you basically produce a website at the end of it. You can produce PDFs and other files, I believe, as well from it. But yeah, it just works just like a normal presentation. Once you've actually built it, you've got your arrow keys. As Eddie was saying earlier, you can control it with your phone. It just does everything,
really cool.
everything you can do with your presentation, plus everything you can do with the internet, really. So how much more power do you need? I don't know.
You have all the power you need. So I'm just going, while Andrew's still setting up, I'm just switch back to my computer. I'm just going to show you, there's some configuration options that I want to add in to, I'm just looking the README for RevealJS's documentation, and I want it so that I can make it turn like a cube, make it look a bit more interesting, and hopefully you'll see that over. I just can't remember the config, so let me find it. Let me see. I mean, it's not so important. Here we go. No, that's the zooming. That's not it. There's somewhere else. But yeah, it's basically RevealJS's PowerPoint and Keynote all smashed together on steroids. You're going to see it. Bear with us. You will see the. Oh, here we go. Here's the configurations you can do. So you can do a parallax background, parallax image. I mean, we could do that with our logo. Maybe we create a huge image with our mascot in the background, and just it's faded and it kind of parallaxes over. We'll try some things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this whole object, and then we can always change stuff. So let me just add this to the initialize section on our code. Actually, just stick it in by default.
Crazy.
Let me see, what else have we got?
Crazy. All these animations you can do.
Let's have a look. So if I go back to, I think it's as a sibling to dependencies. I've just checked before I paste it in. So yes, I leave dependencies at the top. I think if I go comma, paste it in. Oh, that does not look good. Let me just reformat document. And then transition, here you go. Transition slide, these are all the options you got. None, fade, convex, concave. I think convex is the one I like. So let me just switch to convex. If I save it and hit go back to the browser, refresh. Now when I go down to the next one, you can see it kind of spins over rather than slides. So you can kind of, okay, I haven't got much on the page to show it, but hopefully you can see that on the live stream. Is Andrew ready? Should I commit and push this up? And then are you ready?
You push that up,
So I'm going to create another issue on GitHub, make sure I get that green tile again. And is anyone else wants to create it for me? Do you want to get that green tile? If you can just create an issue on GitHub under the repo. I did share the link. Let me check. Yeah, I did share the link. And just raise an issue and just say add configuration to RevealJS, and then create the issue, and I can then push up my code, and the commit message can have that issue number in it. So if anyone wants that green tile on their GitHub account, on their profile, let me see how busy mine is actually while you're there. Let me go to my profile, and let's just see how busy mine is. So mine's got quite a bit of green, not as much as I used to have. I used to have a lot more, and 1,644 contributions, open source contributions. It's okay, not bad. I used to be at like 4,000 or something, which was a lot more. If anyone wants that green tile for today, do raise that issue. Just shout in the chat if you're going to raise the issue. If not, I'll raise it. I've got 9 contributions today. I'll happily make it 10, go into double figures. So let me know if you want to raise the issue. I'll give you 30 seconds, and because there is a bit of a lag on the stream. And then if not, I will raise it. So I haven't pushed it up yet. I'm waiting for someone to maybe raise an issue. Let's get the community involved, helping us with our slides. So, shall we switch to camera? So we switch to your code. What shall we do? No one's written anything. Barry, do you want to raise an issue for us? Who else have we got in here from the beginning? Novaz? Elliot? Anyone else? Want to raise an issue? Get that open source contribution? Don't be shy. If more than one person raises it, you can just close one. You still get the open source contribution, which is the awesome thing about it. So that's really cool. Okay, no one's raising it, so I am going to raise it. So to switch back to my computer real quick, and there is the GitHub repo somewhere here. This is our repo. Go up to the top. All you have to do is go to issues. Even if the repo isn't yours, you can still raise an issue. And I'm just going to go new. I want to say add full RevealJS config. That's all I need to do. Hit enter. Got number 4. So now when I do a commit, I can even do a diff and see how that looks. Oh, I've reformatted the file so it all looks really skew with. So maybe that's a really bad example. But I can commit the this code for Andrew because I have formatted it, so it's going to change the whole file.
Cool.
I don't know what my settings are. It's just VS Code default settings, so I might have ballsed it up, but that's fine. Feature, and it's going to be this is config maybe is the module, let's say, or the area, and it's going to be number 4. Added JS config. Done. Let's push that up. And pushed up.
Okay.
Sorry, this isn't quite what I thought it was. Barry, what were you looking for? Let us know. 'Cause we might not do it now, but we could do it in a future stream. We really want feedback from people, so do let us know. Don't be shy.
We jump all over the place with this channel. It's all code, but
it's all tech related.
It's all tech related. Yeah, it's not just code. We do have other people that join us for streams. We talk to other developers. We talk to recruiters. We talk to designers. We talk to marketing people. But it's always with a focus on technology and what's going on in the tech world. But yeah, otherwise you'll often find us coding, building up the website. You'll see a lot of stuff with Angular going on in the near future again as we adapt and start building a members area or a community area, I suppose we could call it, a bit more so than a members area. We've got some ideas about some gamification we can do there as well. We're looking forward to sharing some ideas on that, but we won't do it just now.
Not just yet, it's a bit early. It's not
yeah,
even
we're still
in alpha
formulating
yet.
that. But
Barry, what were you looking for? Were you looking for more for... We have had on other streams, like Andrew said, where it's been with recruiters, bridging the gap, how to get a job. If you've got any questions that are related to tech, just shove it in the chat. You know, worst case, we don't answer it, or we don't know the answer, or it's super not related to what we're doing, we won't answer, but there's nothing wrong with that. But we try to answer all the questions we get. So let us know what you think. Tanya says, nice location, gents. Thank you very much. I really want to get get the second camera up, and I can point you around and show you what the room's looking like. We're in a WeWork, and we're on the kind of not edge of a bar, we're like on a second reception area next to a bar, and there's loads of people in the background playing board games and doing all sorts of things. So
I'm quite fascinated about what the board game is they're playing over there.
They're getting quite excited about it. It's really geeky, so it's cool. But we better not point the camera at people, they might get a bit upset being on our live stream.
Cool, so
okay, let me switch back to Andrew's
I've just pulled down
computer.
your changes.
Okay, so switching to Andrew's computer.
I'm running up in WebStorm, so I just thought I'd show something different other than what Eddie's got. I do need to probably make that font size bigger.
Maybe definitely make it bigger, I think.
Because I don't think I adjusted my resolution on my screen today, so I will make the font size bigger, which I can just pinch to the trackpad to do. Cool, hopefully that's legible. Right, so what do we want? We wanted to first update the fonts, right? So I created the ticket, and Eddie wanted a different font in there. So we were using Lato. So Lato, we took it from Google Fonts. So when you go to Google Fonts, you can just search around. I'll just close that for a second. You can search around, so I typed in Lato. This just allows you to get some example stuff, so you can type whatever you want up here, and it will just give you an example of that text at whatever font size you want, so you can see, are you happy with that font? Once you are happy, you can then pick what sizes you want to add, and so I could pick another one. I've already got most of those. I can hit that one as well, press add. Then down the bottom here, it will give me, as I expand that up, what I need to do. So I'm just going to go for the standard one. I'm not going to use the import. We could use import, put it in the CSS instead, but I'll just use this one. So we need to link that into the file. So I'll go into the head. I'm going to drop that into the head. In fact, actually, because we've got the other CSS files after, because we're not using a framework, we'll just drop that at the top. And then to use it, obviously, it gives you what you need to do: font family, Lato, and then sans serif as a fallback. So I can go into here now. What I was going to ask Eddie is, there's lots of CSS files that come with RevealJS. Do you know what they do?
Magic.
Okay, I thought that might be what you think. So I'm not going to look at some of these. I don't use RevealJS enough. When I do, it's quite quick, short things.
I use it pretty quick as well.
I'm learning a bit on the go here as we do some of this. But they have lots of themes, and obviously right now we're using the black theme. It'd be quite interesting to see what a different theme looks like. I might try changing it. So I'm just going to look in the black theme. Do they have a... Yeah, they do have various things. Now, I could put something in here and override it, but I think changing what RevealJS gives us is bad. So we'll just continue with using the Code Mortal CSS file that Eddie has added a minute ago. And I'm just going to add something to the body, which sets the font. And that will override anything any other files are doing, because it's the last one in the index list. So I'm sure everyone knows some CSS already, so I don't need to say too much about that. But it's the last one, so it should adopt it. And if I go back to the Code Models presentation that I've got running locally, that does look to me like the new font, so I could take that out. Let's just remove that again, just check. Go back. Are we getting it? Looks very similar to that font. We must have a font that's super similar to the one that comes by default. Okay. Fine, so anyway, we put that in there. Now the next thing was getting some of the colours right. So I don't know how much we need to adjust colours. That's why I was interested in the themes a little bit. So our mascot is, what colour would you call it? I'd say sort of a salmon colour, right?
Salmon looks good.
And we also have some blue, so maybe the sky blue. So
I think your res is a bit weird because is it being cut off or is it okay? I think.
Oh, it's different files. Yeah, because I've got to set it for every file I open.
No,
Okay.
but also is it not cutting off your? Is it okay? And that's fine. I just
I think
wasn't
it was getting
sure
most
if it
of
was
it.
cutting there or not a bit earlier.
I think you're getting most of it.
Okay.
It might be a little bit off. Oh, you're right, it is cut off a bit, isn't it?
Because your res
It's
is
probably because
different.
it's different. Let me change my res. Fingers crossed it doesn't break anything.
Don't forget, if you have any questions, do ask. Don't be shy. If we don't have the answers, we will say. We're also other topics we're going to cover is coding, open source, upskilling people who are already coding, getting more people into tech, helping people find jobs. If there's anything we can do to help, let us know. Practice interviews. We do want to do some practice interviews in the future as well. Let us know what you would like to see and who we'd like to see on here. We've had Tanya on before, briefly. We'd like to get a lot more of her on, but she's too busy. We can't afford her.
So let me try a different theme. I'm going to try the sky theme out. I always see RevealJS in the black theme. So there's the sky theme. What do you reckon to that?
I like it in the dark theme.
You like it dark? What about,
We're hackers, right?
what about blood then? If you're someone that likes dark, you must like blood too. Let's have a look at that one. See, that's all dark still. You just got red arrows instead.
We should
Hasn't-
make our
hasn't
own.
changed very much.
We should make our own. We should use the dark theme, but change the blue or the red to be our salmon
Yeah,
colour.
so we could create our own, right? There's obviously lots of themes in here. You'd have to override all the values in this. It would take a little bit of time.
Oh no! Don't do that now. Then.
So let's not do that now. They have a simple one as well, which I'm guessing just doesn't do too much. Look at that one. See what simple's like.
I'm keen to see what Barry was
Simple's white.
expecting.
I quite like white. When you're on a big cinema, no, maybe dark's better.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We can always change that later. I'm quite keen to see what Barry was expecting from the live stream. I wasn't sure. Was he expecting more chat or less chat, more code?
I think he was probably thinking it was going to be React.js, right? In Haribo. Ah.
Yeah, I think we can do Haribo. I can go to Costco
sure
and
we
get you
can do
like a
Haribo.
kilo of Haribo or something. Well, I think that comes in 5 kilos or something. Yeah, I ate a pack of those, box of those like in 2 days. I was very sick. Well, I'll be doing that
Okay,
again.
so
I
what
haven't
I'm
eaten Haribo since.
What I might do is use the simple one from the theme, and I might actually update it and put some of our colours into it.
I've just noticed, because on our live stream we've got the mascot on the right and the presentation got the mascot on the left. It's twice.
Oh, awesome. At least it's on the different sides.
Yeah, it's worked out pretty well.
Right, so background colour. You like it dark. So we have some brand colours. We have our brand guidelines. We'll have a look, see what dark colours we had. Let me open that up. So here's our colour palette. So we do have a black. We can use that. Okay, I'll drop that into the background for the simple file. And go to the browser and reload it. So we go, that's the dark one. Font's obviously dark as well. So what colour do we want the main font to be? We have a few light colours. Do we want to go for the salmon-y colour for the font?
I think if it's going to be a dark background, it needs to be quite light. Yeah, try a light salmon, see how it looks.
Okay. I don't want to spend too long on this, because we actually have a presentation to make.
Yeah, we do. We always get distracted. Typical tech people, right?
Yeah. So everywhere the colour is set to white, I'm going to just replace that.
Do it. It will not go wrong. It will go wrong.
Nothing ever goes wrong on these things, right?
That colour will be back.
Okay. Let's see what we get. Oh, should have saved. Maybe they didn't call it FFF. Maybe they called it something else. Oh, no, it's black, isn't it? Okay. So it's everywhere we've got black we need to do it, which is probably these ones. So let's undo that one. Everywhere we've got black, let's make it that salmon colour. There we go, right. What do you reckon? Acceptable?
I think that's pretty good. What do you all think? Oh, are we not sharing your screen? Oops.
Oh, Eddie, I thought you were doing the...
I've done it again. I'm really sorry. We've been talking through stuff and we've been showing things and we haven't been showing the screen. Tanya!
So when I was here, you were typing away. I was hitting the numbers, and we were okay, right?
I forgot to switch back.
That's all right. That's all right. Hopefully people are following along. Anyway, we've changed the background color. We've changed the text color, so we can now see the same presentation, but with a little bit more color to it. Our color. The other thing I would say is the Angular and everything. It's all very central on the page. It'd be nice to shift the whole thing up. Did you know how to do that? I'm talking to you, Eddie.
Sorry, say it again. I'm trying to
Eddie's gone totally to sleep here.
I was trying to, ignore me. I've got this on
if we
volume
wanted
one
to
as well,
shift
which is
up
confusing.
everything so it's not dead in the
Centered.
center,
Put some text under it.
just put text under it. That's your answer, is
Yeah,
it?
it will shuffle it up. To put something like Angular version 8, V8.
Let's not do that right now then. I was hoping there was a way of just generally shifting the content.
Probably is, I have no idea.
Okay. I'm a stickler for liking things to be a little bit less.
No,
it's
centre's
right in the middle.
perfect.
Yeah, we've now got a mascot down here. It's the weight of it's all at the bottom of the page.
We're going to add content to it.
We will add more content.
Or put
Other pages
H1
will look
around
better.
it, it'll be bigger.
Anyway, you wanted me to add something to the footer, right? So you've
The write code mortals next to it.
Yeah, so you've got mascot, but you've just at the moment absoluted that at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to change this slightly. I'm going to have left 0. I'm going to add right 0 as well, so that it will fill all the way across the width of the bottom. And I'm going to give it some height as well. So the mascot is going to effectively become a footer, and we'll have a height of, let's just say, 100 pixels for now.
Tanya says, were you about to blame? I was going to blame you. Why didn't you say that we weren't sharing the code, we were sharing us? I know, I've done my hair today and people want to see us, but they also want to see the code too. Venkatesh says, can't see the video. When you say you can't see the video, is any video at all, or you can't see the Andrew's screen? Because I did forget to switch over, which now is switched
we know
over.
that there is something happening on on YouTube. We're watching YouTube as we do it to make sure it's not completely broken. Well, if we had been watching it in a little bit more detail, Eddie wouldn't have noticed. Would have noticed.
Sorry.
That we were on there, but
Actually, if you all had been watching, you would have told us. Tanya, you're fired. No Haribo for you.
right, so Code Mortals is the name we want to put down there.
The feed of us, by the way, is well jumpy.
Is that?
It's just in the corner, and I did adjust that down to 30 frames HD, but that's quite jumpy.
Okay, so I've put a footer in, and I've added an extra thing. So I'm just thinking now, we could change the display of this, make it grid. I think people like grid these days. Everyone seems to be talking about it a lot more. So let's use grid. Well, if I can type grid. And we're going across the page. We need to set up which way we want to go. Grid, auto, and it's going to be... Always get these mixed up because of flex and grid.
I have no idea. I just let you do it.
Across the page, I think it's columns.
Let's try it. Let's get it wrong.
Min.
We can always
content.
switch the camera over.
And then auto flow we want to turn on.
It's good to show that we get it wrong too.
And that should be column. Let's see what happens. I've either gone the wrong way or the right way. Can't see anything changing, probably because I need to reduce the height of that image a bit. Hang on, this is CSS, not SCSS.
What did you do?
I'm too used to SCSS, so I was trying to nest things together, which means I've now got to add footer onto the front of this. Okay, there we go. So it has overlaid it straight one over the other.
Let's have a
That's
look.
interesting.
I missed that, sorry, show me again.
So the text is sat right on top of the
That looks good, I like
mascot.
it. What do you think?
It's not what it should be doing, because we should be in the footer. We probably need to actually put a div around it, don't we?
I'm a bit of a div sometimes. So, okay, let me get back to... what have we got? So while Andrew's doing that, what questions do you have for us? Our video has just disappeared, by the way, off the screen.
Our video?
Oh, it's come back again. It had gone completely. Like it wasn't there at all.
Wow.
So we keep
Video
disappearing
feed's
like
got a
ghosts.
mind of its own.
Yeah, it's a bit dodge.
I've called it
Oh,
mascot.
why it's flickering green? And you need a new computer.
Doing too many things. You should be doing all the coding whilst I'm running the TV. Okay,
It's gone really quiet in here now. I think everyone's
sorry,
trying
you're
to listen to
challenging
us.
me here with having to write actual CSS rather than SCSS. Things aren't behaving for me.
That's fine. Well, you carry on playing, and then I can show some other stuff.
Got
If you want.
footer, we're in the mascot, we want the image, so we've got the footer, .mascot, and then image. Set that to 100%. We should probably move these bits here. So that becomes footer.
No problem. While you're doing that, I can look at some other stuff. What else do we want to do? So we probably want
Okay,
to
we're
also
back in the
cover.
same state, so that wasn't the issue.
Do you want me to do some other stuff, or are you happy to continue sharing your screen?
Up to you. If you've got something else you want to share.
No. If you were just trying some things out, I was happy to show some other stuff. But if you're doing some things, that's good.
It is column. But min content might not be right. So min content on the text isn't going to be good. So I probably need to set up some initial rows. We know we've got a minimum number of rows, so I can set up grid.
If anyone's just joined, don't forget
columns.
to say hi in the chat. It'd be really good to know who's still
we have
around
min
and who's just joined. Just say hi, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. But yeah, say hi in the chat. Let us know, anyone who is still here or who is here, let us know what you've been up to this week. It's Wednesday. Hopefully you've been coding. Any open source projects you want to share links to, just drop them in the chat. More than happy to take a look. And yeah, good. Let's talk open source. Our slides now are writing in RevealJS
Interesting.
are open source. What's up?
Interesting. When I don't know if it's part of RevealJS interfering, but the moment I opened the inspect console, it did what I was expecting it to do, and it put the text next to it. Well, it's not doing it this time. Interesting. Now it's doing it. Something very crazy going on there. So code model, I was expecting it to sit next to the mascot, and it's done that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't want to do it when the inspect console's.
Oh.
That should not be making any difference to what happens at all.
Dun, dun, dun. It was the butler in the library with a candlestick. I can't remember that game. Cluedo.
Okay.
So, hey, Venkatesh is still here. How's your coding going? Venkatesh has usually got good thoughts and ideas on this. So if you see Andrew's mistake, do let him know. Our heads in the video are kind of jumping all left and right and all the rest. It's kind of like really weird. Yeah, it's not so good. So while Andrew's figuring that out, I'm probably going to take over control of the stream, and let's just put some sections into the. I've stolen your screen, Andrew.
That's right.
Let's put some sections in. So what sections do we have? So if I go back to the code here, you will see we have Code Mortals is the first title, and that's not wrapped in anything, so it's probably just taking a normal font. So I think we should put that as a H1. So we will just put that in the H1, and then if I go back to that page, you can see it's now massive. Code Mortals. We're not wearing our Code Mortals t-shirts today because we've worn them a few times already, and they really need a wash. We need to get some more of those. And we want to get some for you too. Jason's here. Hey, Jason from Mississippi, learning responsive web design this week. Cool. It's great to hear what people are working on. So let us know everyone else what you're working on as well. Jason, any of your work open source on GitHub? Can we take a little sneak peek and see what you've been up to? Let's have a look. Okay, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe, support our channel. That would be really, really helpful, and we'll appreciate it. So Code Mortals is big, which is right underneath what Code Mortals is. So if I just put a P tag underneath, and if anyone has joined late and they're not sure what the stream's about, do ask some questions and we can answer. So I am doing the first slide of the presentation at the moment while Andrew's working on the mascot at the bottom left. So Code Mortals. I don't know what we don't have a strap line yet, do we?
No, we've spoken about
code,
a few.
Your community. We can rename this later. I'm just kind of putting it as a placeholder. You see, the Code Mortals now is bumped up because I put the text underneath. So that kind of it's always around.
Yeah,
the
it
center.
centers down the middle. I can see that, but I'm sure you can lift it up a bit.
So Code Mortals. Who else? Does anyone else use PowerPoint or Keynote or anything else, or Google Presentation? It's pretty good. But yeah, we're going to code ours in HTML, CSS, open source. Because even if you do it as a Google presentation, yes, you can use it on other computers. You don't have that cross-browser issue or cross-platform issue. But is it open source? And you want other people to be able to fix issues, contribute. I'm sure we've made some mistakes in our slides, and you can then fix it. So let's have a look. Your code, your community. That's a cheesy strapline. We'll fix that and change it. Just trying to get the sections. So the first vertical, if I zoom out, the first kind of vertical section of the slides should be a bit about Code Mortals. We'll keep that quite short and sweet. So who we are. I don't know if we just have who we are and then we explain, or do we want to write something? Who are we? Who we are, who are we? And then underneath, we should probably have some socials. Let's put some socials. Let's change this to socials. Actually, no. Let's put socials underneath.
Well, I was going to put socials into here as well, into the footer.
Okay, do that as well.
So it's basically just at Code Mortals is all I was going to add there. I can put some icons as well from Twitter and everything, right?
That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. Jason says, I'm completely new to all of this, going through boot camp and 19 weeks into a 33-week program. 33 weeks. That's a lot of months. That's more than 6 months, right? That's a lot. Wow. But 19 weeks, so you're in quite a way, which is good. Got a GitHub account, but not using it just yet. Learning a lot here. Thanks. Jason, any questions, just let us know. We're more than happy to help. We try and stream once a week, either on a Monday or a Wednesday. And we do some streams with discussions with like recruiters, UI, UX people, marketing people. We've got some marketing videos coming out, like your personal brand. And we do coding ones. So today we've got a presentation, is it next week? Week after next.
Yeah.
And we're coding our presentations in HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and we're putting it open source on GitHub. So if I go to GitHub here, I can find it somewhere. Aha, it's here. You can see, I've completed that issue. Let me close that issue now. You can see our slides are open source on GitHub, so you can make changes and suggestions if you want. And then there is a link you can go to, and it will just take you to our slides hosted on GitHub pages. Tanya says, this week I've done no open source. Ha ha. That's not funny, Tanya. You make me cry. I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight. I've been setting up a Node.js app, writing it in TypeScript. Yes. Getting into unit integration tests, up and running, etc. Nice. So Tanya, do you want to raise an issue, get that open source green tile kind of for today? What other issue do we need raised? So, let me think. I'm just going to sneeze. Let me put you on with Andrew.
Well, we've got the different sections, right? We've got all the different slides. So we could have a title for each section. I think Eddie's already listed them off. We've got the Code Mortals one. We have Angular. We have CI, CD, Cypress. Each of those is going to need a issue raising. So if you want to raise some issues, they would be good ones to start with. We can add the detail to them later. Obviously, we're still trying to figure out exactly what we're going to say. So Angular was probably going to be fairly brief, right? What we're going to talk to people about Angular, we're going to mention TypeScript. We'll mention the CLI and talk about how the CLI works, what you get out of the box when it comes to some of the things. So obviously, Angular gives you some testing out the box using Jasmine, and then Protractor. And then obviously we don't tend to use those because, I don't know, they're nice, but I think they slow you down a bit for getting things done. And Protractor was built for the first version of Angular, not the latest version. So we use Cypress instead, so that's why we're going to have Cypress, and we're keeping that towards the end, because when you're setting up a project, we believe the first thing you should do is be deploying. Day one, deploy your code straight out, even if it's just a blank page. Get it deploying.
Like a hello world sort of page. The first thing you do, hello world, get it deploying, and then you get that.
And then we add our tests.
And then you kind of bolt.
And we add your tests. Make sure that when you go somewhere, you see your hello world or your blank page, whatever it is, and from there you've got all the sort of foundation you need to add more.
Video has just.
Oh wow!
Let's hope audio is okay. Before you unplug that later on, let me know what Stream Deck you're using, Camlink you're using.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's happening.
So hopefully the audio hasn't died.
It's back again.
It's
but
back
it
again.
does jump out, doesn't it?
Okay, we're back. Sorry for some technical issues. It could be so many things. It could be the cable, the cam link, the Wi-Fi.
Biggest problem with being live is you just don't know what the hardware is.
And every time that happens, we lose a few people.
Yeah, that sucks.
That does suck. We'll keep working on it. So
maybe it's YouTube that's doing it to us. YouTube is kicking us
yes,
off
they're saying
temporarily.
we've got 47 subscribers and that's just too much, and we're taking down YouTube. So let me share one of our screens. So what was I doing? I was doing the sections.
Well, I've got the grid working. If anyone wants to see,
let's switch to Andrew's and have a look at the grid.
It's only very, very simple right now. So I've got the mascot, Code Mortals text is coming up, and then the Code Mortals on the end.
Let's have a look.
I haven't really changed much to do this at the moment. I've just got min content for the first part of the grid, then one fraction which says use up whatever space is left. Then after that, I'm just saying add more on and add min content to them. But what I should be able to then do is the nice thing that grid has that I love is grid gap. And we can add some spacing, so I can just say one, I'll say rem. And now all of these, when I refresh, get a little bit of space between them now. So the Code Models text is rather dark though, so we could do with changing that to the text we were using for the other colour. So I will grab the font colour from that and just drop that into our Code Mortals CSS file. We'll pop that down here. There we go, so that's a bit more legible now. Obviously I need to squeeze that down because we're also going to keep the mascot high. So at the moment I'm center aligning everything, so I could shift it all to the end and that should drop the text to the bottom. It's now touching right on the bottom though, so we'll probably need to push it back up a little bit, but we can do that in a minute. Is there anything else that you want that footer to have in it right now, Eddie?
Let me think.
We have the name, we have that.
What do you all think? What do you think? Do you think we should have anything more in there?
And are we happy that they go side by side? Should they be stacked up against each other?
Side by side is good. It's a bit lower. Maybe leaves a lot more space for the actual main content.
But at the same time, a presentation shouldn't have too much content on the page. The more content you put on the page, it becomes distracting. You want like just a couple of bullet points on there.
Maybe you should make the writing slightly bigger of the Code Mortals and at Code Mortals.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so what other sections do we need? Elliot's back. Thanks again for joining, Elliot, and really thank you for your support. You're always sharing our tweets, retweeting, sharing the live stream links with all your friends and colleagues. So really appreciate that, and we appreciate everyone's support.
There we go. Bump them off the bottom a little bit as well.
Yeah, that looks better now. That's really good.
Although high is a bit touched to the side, right, as well. So maybe I should put a pop of some padding to the side. So maybe I'll just go
bit of padding.
Top, bottom, left. Yeah. Do that on both. There we go. In fact, I can just change that. I don't even need the second one. I can just say 1 EM all the way around.
Do it. Live life. Cool.
Okay, so that's your footer. It'll be there for every single page, right?
So if you commit that and push that
up.
Yeah, do it. What do you think? You happy with
We
that?
haven't put any logos in there yet, but we can add logos later. We're tight for time. We'll try and figure out what the content of what we're talking about is going to be.
8. So we just get the sections sorted and we can fill in the details later on. I wanted to show you how to put code in the RevealJS presentation and actually have it as code, but it'll look like an image. It will have syntax highlighting and it'll be boxed and bordered. It'll look like you've put an image in there. It'll actually be code, which is awesome. So if anyone wants to make a change to the code, they'll have to upload a whole new image. You haven't got a binary there. We can do that next time, or while Andrew's pushing it up and he's showing you how he commits, I could just dig that out of the documentation because I do not remember how to do that off the top of my head. Code syntax highlighting. So syntax highlighting. You can also do it as Markdown as well. We can do we want to do our slides as Markdown or HTML? Markdown might be easier to read, right? Let me see if I can do this as Markdown. It might be easier to read, I think, right? Let's see if I can get this working.
Do I want to push this up to a branch, or do you want me to push it straight up?
Straight to master. Let's do it right. Let's live life on the edge. We're daredevils.
Done.
Awesome.
So give that 30 seconds and it'll be available on the GitHub Pages site.
I just realised I wasn't showing your screen. Every time I forget to switch back. Tanya, no one's paying attention, right?
Oh, well.
Okay.
We said hello to Elliot, didn't we? I'm sure you saw Elliot a minute ago.
That's Andrew's screen. I'm sharing it now. He's just done a commit.
I've just committed up our little changes to our footer, which hopefully people saw.
We are not used to sharing two screens, and that's probably why.
We have the footer down here. Yeah, well, it's all new. Every time we do something, it's new. We have to apologise to all those early viewers that are joining us so early in our journey, I suppose you could say.
Our live streaming careers as superstars, which I hate that word.
Give us 5 years and
we'll be older.
We'll have it all refined.
For sure.
There'll be more grey hair, lost hair.
So I can't believe we were talking about making the writing bigger and no one could see it because I wasn't sharing a screen. Right, next time please, if we're talking about the screen, do shout in the chat and let us know that we're not sharing the screen.
Cool.
So let me switch to my screen now.
I am pull those changes down.
I need to pull Andrew's changes down. Hopefully it won't conflict with mine. So if I go git pull origin master, we're not using branches at the moment, we're keeping it simple, we're not doing pull requests. It says it aborted because I've got my changes might conflict with Andrew's because we've changed the same file. They probably won't, so what I'll do is I'll stash my changes. And that means they're now kind of gone, they're in like a holding place. And then if I do a pull again, I'll pull down Andrew's changes.
No one saw. I think everyone, the whole world is going to see Eddie's mistakes. Whilst Tanya says no one saw. We know everyone's going to see.
Pack of Haribo for you next time. And then I do a stash pop. That will take what I put on the stash stack before and pop it off. And as you can see, it's added it, and there's no conflicts. And I've got Andrew's changes. If I go back to the browser, the font. Is that our font?
That must be our font.
Okay, cool.
Looks fine.
So you can see on my computer now I have what Andrew had on his. But I've also changed it from HTML to Markdown. So you can see now that I put this in the section tag data Markdown, and now I can do this. So I can put a subheading, and then if I save it, you can now see you've got subheadings is all using Markdown syntax, which I think is pretty cool, easier for people to change. But the other thing I really wanted to do, and I have to check documentation because I can't remember, is syntax code highlighting. I can't remember where it is.
Does it not work the same way you normally would within Markdown?
Yes,
so
but you do something. Oh, maybe it is. Let me think. Maybe it is. Let me just try it. Live life on the edge, right?
There you go.
Let's see. So we'll say it's TypeScript because we all love TypeScript, right? Has anyone not tried TypeScript?
What are you going to do in TypeScript though?
I'm just going to go. It's really weird to type TypeScript in a Markdown thing. Let's just do like, I don't know, const a of type string equals code mortals. That's the original code mortals. Right, so if I save that, I don't know if that's going to highlight it. And that was on the second page. If I scroll down, that did not work.
Okay, so
there is something.
Is it because you're indented? If you bring all that indentation back,
I think
sometimes indentation when you're doing Markdown like this.
I have a feeling that needs to be in the normal indentation, and then this bit needs to be. Otherwise, if you indent that, it puts it right to the far right. I have a feeling
you haven't flagged that as Markdown content either.
Ooh, yes, good point. Andrew's paying attention. Let me save that. Refresh. Second tab. Yes, look at that. That's even highlighted and everything. It's looking sexy. I like that. I like
what are we
colours.
actually going to put the message in now? So we've got some initial parts of RevealJS up and running, right? We've installed RevealJS, we've got the project, we've got the website deploying out, we've added a footer that's got our branding to it. What are we actually going to talk about at this event? We know the general titles, right? We're going to do some stuff to do with Angular. What do we want to show about Angular? So we've got 25 minutes. We've got Angular, CI, CD,
Cypress,
and
then Cucumber.
Do we want questions at the end as well?
I think the questions are in addition to that. No, we want questions, but questions are in addition.
So we've got 5 minutes for each part, really, because we know we'll overrun. So
5 minutes for each part. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So code ones, you've got the who are we. So this first section about
that's
who we
not
are.
5 minutes though.
That one needs to be like 30 seconds.
A minute, yeah.
Okay.
That's true. Okay. So
we can say that verbally. We don't need a slide to give much detail about that one.
Yeah, we can say that verbally. You can say kind of who we are and so forth. So let's think. So I'll switch back to big camera. I'm on big camera now, so you can see my lovely hair and t-shirt. and so on. But you're right, we need to do sections. So we've got code working, which is looking good. I really like how it highlighted. It looks really good. It looks like VS Code practically, but even brighter. So what topics should we cover? So I switch back to my screen.
Well, I think obviously for Angular, it's going to be again quite brief. We're at a JS conference. Most people there know what the libraries are. The thing they're most interested in is how we are deploying things and how we're testing them, because those subjects just don't get talked about enough.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna skip down to the configuration. I want to remember where we are, because every time I refresh it, wherever it is gone, I lost it now. It goes back to the beginning each time because there's no path. As I navigate through the slides, there's no path. So I really want it to keep where we are. I know there is a config option for it, which is
Slide numbers. Yeah.
slide number false. We'll leave it as false.
History.
History, that's the one. We want the history. You're not talking into your mic, by the way.
I can move the mic around. Yeah, I was moving around just to look to see what you're doing.
Oh, that's true. We need another big screen up here, so you can, I don't know, see it straight away. We'll work on it. Oh, vertical centering of slides. You can turn it off if you want. Loop the presentation. There are some more options here. Navigation mode. Default shuffle. Why randomize your slides?
That's awesome. That makes the challenge much better for presenting, I think.
Wow.
Who knows what we're going to go to next?
Okay, so loads of configuration you've got here.
Okay, did that work though? Does it now remember what you're on?
Let's
when
have
you,
a look. So if I go
make
to
a
number
change?
2, we have got the slides in the positions. Now if I refresh, we are still in the same place. It looks like it's working quite well. And just being in the WeWork office is quite interesting.
Anything about unit testing in the presentation? So the only thing we're probably going to say about unit testing is we remove it from Angular. Angular comes with unit testing for Jasmine built in. However, because most of what we are interested in is what the user can actually do generally, we're going to talk on Cypress and Cucumber, whereby Cypress will be driving the browser and exercising what a user can exercise, not so much the unit tests for some of the, I'll say, business logic that can go on, because unit tests really are about business logic and making sure that when you send something in, the right thing comes back out. But the reality is, if you've written enough, I'll say, integration tests with Cypress, then you can achieve exactly the same anyhow, because it's only what a user can do. And the benefit being that when a bug does get found, perhaps, then you can just add that test, fix the code, and you shouldn't see it happen again. So do you really need unit tests when you're building a front end? I mean, that would be an interesting subject to comment on.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's a good question, and I think it's a good answer, because unit tests are good for complicated business logic where you really want, okay, you can test boundary conditions with end-to-end tests, like with Cypress. So usually unit tests are more maybe for the API. We do end-to-end tests from the API's point of view as well, but we don't unit test all of it. We unit test more maybe for business logic. If we've got business rules.
Tend to unit test the things that you don't have much control over. Things like, what if the database connection was lost? What if your third party can't be communicated?
But you can still do that with
things like Nook.
Mock, yeah, you can mock out your external dependencies or data dependencies or connections. I think with unit testing, if you've got some really intricate details in the class, like you want to get into the details, but there's like, I don't know if you've seen, there's an animated GIF which is quite interesting where it says unit test this window, and you open the window and it works perfectly, and then the other wall, like in a corner, you kind of unit test the other window and it also works perfectly with the handle and it locks and so on, and then they go end-to-end test, and then you can't because they don't open fully because they hit the handles of each door of each window. So it's like unit test pass but end-to-end test fails. So end-to-end test, Andrew's right, catches more. But if you've got some real, like if you wanted to unit test the handle, it probably makes sense. But to unit test the opening and closing of the window, you might just end-to-end kind of test that. So I think it kind of, that comes just from, I think, experience.
The biggest
trying.
downside to end-to-end test can be speed, right? Sometimes end-to-end tests can take a bit longer. Not so bad when it comes to a back end. Again, that's generally quite fast. But with a front end and a browser being driven, sometimes it can be a bit slower. Like if you're inputting text into a field, that can take a little bit longer. So then you're down to sort of question of performance over sort of the reality of what actually goes on, right? But when you're running on a CI and so forth, I mean, even complicated tests where we have hundreds of pages going, they still tend to run in sort of 5 to 10 minutes, and you can have different grades of them as well. So one of the nice things with Cucumber is you can tag things. So you might say, okay, when I'm running this locally, I'm going to run only the tags for the, let's say, the happy path perhaps. And then when it runs on the CI, or perhaps a nightly build, it's going to exercise the more in-depth, larger test suite to make sure that everything's there. Not so good if you want to do true continuous delivery and you're deploying every kind of few minutes. But there's lots of options there. But yeah, unit tests, I suppose, I question how valuable they really are. They tend to just highlight code that might not even be getting used today.
Yeah, and you can also get, because with our API, we're doing an end-to-end kind of test on our API with Cucumber as well, but it also shows code coverage, right? We can see which code is not getting hit, which is not getting used. I'm just conscious of the time. We've kind of all kept you for how long? Just over an hour and a half. Maybe we should start winding down. Any final questions before?
Are there any things about RevealJS? Because the stream has mostly been about RevealJS, not so much our presentation. We will continue the presentation.
We will. Keep an eye
and get
on
it all finished.
Let me share
So
the repo again.
we'll all be up on the GitHub repo before we go out next Wednesday.
What would you like to see as well? I mean, we could close down and see what people would like to see. They would like to see more of the RevealJS. So for our next coding session, because we have on our website, if I bring up our website, I will show you the things we have coming up, streams and events.
We didn't update this evening, so we have swapped things around a little bit.
So if I switch to the schedule page on the website.
So we were going to do this talk on Monday. On the schedule, if you look at the schedule, we haven't updated it since we've swapped things around this morning. So this morning we were going to have on our schedule a conversation regarding the website. We're going to continue work on the website. But we decided about the middle of the day, actually, we're going to do the RevealJS stuff today so that we can start making progress on it. Because otherwise, if we waited till Monday, we'd only have, 1 day to finish it off.
Is it 1 day? Is it the following? I thought
it's the Wednesday, right? Monday's the 22nd.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no,
right.
No, you're right.
We
Sorry.
have 1 more week.
It is 1 more week.
This way we get to practice our presentation a bit more, make sure we can get it down to 25 minutes. What else would you like to see?
We're not streaming on Monday now, are we? I think
Monday.
That was partly of why moving it, because we're not going to stream on Monday.
We've got something else in the books. We can't say too much about it, and we'll probably it's a recording.
We're going to be recording offline.
And it's going to be a friend of ours has got a whiteboard interview test, and they wanted to practice going through some whiteboard kind of tests and practices, and we're going to do that with them, and we're going to record it, but we're not going to share it just yet.
Well,
it's all secret.
The sharing will all be based on whether or not they actually get the job, right?
So we will see. Yes, but we could share snippets in the future and so forth. So that's. It could be quite interesting, quite useful. But what would people like to see on the stream? We'd like to see more. So on our next stream, we'd like to see more coding on the website and the platform, maybe authentication using Angular, Firebase. We're also using Cucumber. Or we'd like to see more RevealJS with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Markdown stuff. Let us know what you would like to see now, or in a comment below after when the video is finished. Just leave a comment. We'll really appreciate it. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Share with your friends as well. And let us know what they would like to see. We've got 30 years experience between us, and we want to start sharing, giving back to the community. So let us know.
And coding live does not work too well. I'll say that much. Yeah. But hopefully it gives a hint into the reality of what goes through your brain when you're multitasking, and how it's much easier sometimes to just get your head down and be quiet when you're trying to solve problems.
Yeah, but it's good practice for us, and it shows everyone that we're just mere mortals, right? And we make mistakes too.
Precisely.
Awesome. Listen, everyone, have a good night. Thank you very much for joining. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think we've covered most things. I mean, the main thing really is what would everyone else like, not so much us just spieling off things we're doing. It's down to you to control what you would like to see. So communicate with us, ask us what questions, challenges on things as well.
Yeah, let us know what you'd like to see. We're thinking of streaming from some events as well. So would that be interesting for people to see, for us to stream some events if it's not always just us talking? Let us know. We're on our website. We're putting up the schedule or schedule for those in America, I think. And let us know.
I think we're going to try and do a few videos where we actually record some coding offline without being live, so they can be a little bit more tutorial based and take people through things in a little bit more wrapped up fashion rather than having this long-winded. The nice thing about this is you get to ask the questions, But yeah, we're going to try and do a few videos as well.
Yeah, that's true. We will do some concise, kind of like 5-minute videos on how to do certain things, Angular, Cypress, etc. Venkatesh, thanks for joining. Tanya says she'd like to see more Firebase stuff. So
okay.
I think we should build our website and platform and user authentication with OAuth, say GitHub and so on with Firebase.
We can
get the real-time data.
Firebase.
Get the real-time data just out the box. And I'll show you how awesome that is with RxJS and Angular. I think a lot of people watching here and in the rest of the community love React. So I think it'd be really good. I know they can use TypeScript, they can use RxJS, but it doesn't come out of the box, whereas with Angular it does. So I think it'd be really interesting to show how Firebase and Angular work really nice together. They do work really good, and I think just out of the box how you can get, if someone else, say you've got a list on our website of so you can log in onto our website. You don't really get very much. So you can log in, and then there's a page that lists everyone who's logged in, everyone who's joined our community. Then if we do that with Firebase and Angular with RxJS, then you'll see out of the box, it will update automatically as people log in. It's all real-time data. Two-way binding, real-time data, it's sexy stuff. So I'm quite keen to show that. We just need to convince Andrew that Firebase is good.
I have no qualms with Firebase. What I have a qualm with is vendor lock-in.
It is a vendor lock-in.
It will be a vendor lock-in, but doing that. But in reality, how often do you really move cloud platform providers and so forth?
It's true.
They generally are always improving, and whilst one might lag in one area, they're stronger in another. So, yeah, I don't mind it too much, but just bear in mind, vendor lock-in does cause some problems down the line when you grow, let's say, and you suddenly hit, I don't know, 1 million users. Let's say our community grows to 1 million people.
I'll be happy with 10.
We just don't know quite how well Firebase is going to truly perform in those situations.
But it is on GCP, right?
It should be good, and it's pretty scalable. We know it does all the right things, but I've just never actually seen. So if anyone has some examples of where performance issues can arise using Firebase, it's good to try and bear those sorts of things in mind. Whereas if you're staying platform agnostic, it's much quicker to react and move your project somewhere else if there is a problem.
Not React.js, just the word.
Not React. Yeah, just React as far as
the word goes.
Surprise.
Okay, let's call it a day. Thank you all so much for joining. We really appreciate it. We've had fun. We hope you've had fun and you've learned stuff. And we will catch you on the live stream next time. Check our schedule on the website, codemortals.io. And Code Mortals out.